Look up. I want you to really hear that. Look up. Not just with your eyes, but with your mind and your heart. Because for too long, so many of us have been staring at the ground, focused on problems, focused on failures, focused on what went wrong yesterday or what might go wrong tomorrow. We've been looking at the cracks, the obstacles, the walls that seem to close in around us. And in doing so, we forget something critical. Life is meant to be lived looking forward, not backward. Life is meant to be lived moving ahead, even when the path isn't perfectly clear. When you look up, you change your perspective. You start to see the bigger picture, the horizon beyond your immediate struggles. You begin to see possibility instead of limitation, hope instead of fear, opportunity instead of despair. And it's in that moment, when you shift your gaze, that you unlock the first step toward progress. Because the world doesn't reward those who stay fixed on the ground. It rewards those who lift their eyes, take a deep breath, and choose to move forward, even when it's hard. But looking up isn't enough on its own. Looking up must be paired with action. You cannot simply dream, hope, or imagine your way to the life you want. You must move ahead. And moving ahead is not about giant leaps or perfect plans. It's about small, consistent steps taken every single day, even when you feel uncertain or afraid. Progress is born from momentum, from the simple act of deciding that today you will do something, anything that pushes you forward. We often think that success is a straight line, that life will hand us victory if we just wait patiently enough. But the truth is, life is messy. Life is unpredictable. And moving ahead requires resilience. It requires the ability to keep going when things don't go your way, when doors close in your face, when the world seems determined to tell you no. Resilience is not something you are born with, it's something you practice, something you choose. Every time you rise after a setback, every time you keep moving when it feels impossible, you are strengthening your capacity to achieve your goals. And here's the critical part. You cannot move ahead without knowing why. If you don't have a purpose, a reason to keep going, you will tire, you will stumble, and eventually you will stop. But when you know why, when you understand the deeper reason for your actions, you can withstand the storms. Purpose gives direction to your steps. Purpose fuels your motivation when the world seems to be conspiring against you. Purpose allows you to endure the long nights, the slow progress, and the inevitable failures along the way. Purpose is what makes movement meaningful. And meaning is what transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. When you look up and move ahead with purpose, you do more than just survive. You inspire. You inspire yourself and you inspire those around you. Because momentum is contagious, courage is contagious, hope is contagious. When people see you choosing to rise, to lift your gaze, to take steps forward in spite of fear, they are reminded of what is possible for them. And that ripple effect, that chain reaction, is how change spreads. Not just in your life, but in your community, your workplace, your family, and beyond. I know it's not easy. I know the weight of responsibilities, the pressure of expectations, and the fear of failure can make it feel impossible to lift your eyes. I know that the world often seems to reward those who conform, who stay small, who hide from risk. But the truth is, the world needs those who dare to look up and move ahead. The world needs those who are willing to step into uncertainty, to embrace discomfort, to push themselves, and in doing so, inspire others to do the same. Because the truth is, no one ever achieved greatness by staying rooted in fear. No one ever changed the world by standing still. So I challenge you today, look up, look beyond the obstacles, beyond the setbacks, beyond the doubts. Lift your eyes and remind yourself of the life you want to create, the difference you want to make, and the person you are capable of becoming. And then move ahead. Not perfectly, not without fear, but intentionally. Step by step, action by action, decision by decision. Because each step matters. Each choice matters. Each moment in which you refuse to give in to despair and choose progress instead matters more than you realize. Remember, movement begets movement. Momentum begets momentum. One step forward creates the possibility of another. One decision to act creates the courage to act again. And before you know it, the life that once seemed impossible begins to take shape. You begin to see the rewards of resilience, the results of purpose, and the impact of inspiring those around you. The simple act of looking up and choosing to move ahead transforms not just your own life, but the lives of everyone you touch. And so, I leave you with this thought. Don't let the world or your own doubts keep you rooted in the past. Don't let fear keep you from taking the next step. Don't let setbacks convince you that your dreams are too far away. Look up, see the possibilities, move ahead, take action, choose resilience, live with purpose. Inspire those around you, and in doing so, you will discover that progress is not just about achieving goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who can face anything and still keep moving forward. The choice is yours, the direction is yours, the life you want to live is waiting for you. Lift your eyes, take that step, move ahead, because the world belongs to those who dare to look up. Look up. Not just physically, but mentally. Not just to see the sky, but to see possibility. Because for far too long we have allowed ourselves to be tethered to the things that weigh us down. Our doubts, our fears, our failures. And when you stare at what's wrong, what's missing, or what's broken, it becomes easy to forget that there is more to life than what is immediately in front of you. Looking up is about perspective. It's about reminding yourself that no matter how heavy the weight of today feels, there is always a horizon ahead, always a path forward, always a chance to rise. When you lift your gaze, you begin to realize that the world is not designed to keep you down. Challenges are not meant to trap you, they are meant to teach you. Failures are not meant to define you, they are meant to guide you. And setbacks are not the end of the road, they are simply part of the journey. The moment you choose to look up, you are choosing to see the bigger picture, the long view, the potential that exists beyond your immediate circumstances. That choice alone changes everything. But looking up is only the first step. Seeing possibility is not the same as creating it. You must move ahead, and moving ahead is not about waiting for perfect conditions or a clear roadmap. Life rarely offers clarity before action. Progress comes to those who are willing to take steps, even when they don't have all the answers. The first step may be small, imperfect, uncertain, but it is always necessary. Momentum is built not by waiting, but by doing. It is built by the courage to try, the determination to persist, and the commitment to never stop moving, no matter how slowly. And here is the truth. Moving ahead is uncomfortable. It requires courage. It requires resilience. It requires embracing discomfort rather than avoiding it. Life will test you. It will challenge you. It will push you to your limits and sometimes beyond. But it is in those moments of struggle, those moments when giving up feels easier than continuing, that your character is forged. Every time you face difficulty and choose to move forward anyway, you strengthen not just your resolve, but your capacity to achieve more than you ever imagined. Purpose is what turns movement into momentum. Without purpose, action becomes aimless and effort becomes exhausting. But when you understand why you are moving forward, when you have clarity about the impact you want to make or the life you want to lead, every step gains meaning. Purpose is what lights the path when the road ahead is dark. Purpose is what fuels resilience when the world seems determined to knock you down. Purpose is what allows ordinary effort to transform into extraordinary outcomes. And purpose is not just about you. When you move ahead with purpose, you inspire others to do the same. Courage is contagious. Determination is contagious. Hope is contagious. When people see you rising after setbacks, taking steps forward despite fear, and committing to progress even in uncertainty, they are reminded that they too can move ahead. And that ripple effect, that inspiration, is powerful. It spreads, it builds, it changes communities, organizations, families, and even entire generations. Your choice to look up and move ahead is not just for your own life. It is a gift to the world. I know it is tempting to stay where you are, to wait until the timing feels perfect, until fear subsides, or until obstacles disappear. But here's the reality. The perfect moment rarely comes. Fear rarely goes away entirely. Challenges will always exist. The difference between those who succeed and those who stagnate is simple. The ones who succeed choose to move ahead anyway. They choose to act, even in uncertainty. They choose to rise, even when the odds seem stacked against them. And in that choice, they create opportunities, possibilities, and breakthroughs that others can only dream of. Every step forward, no matter how small, has power. Every choice to act has consequences. Every moment you refuse to be paralyzed by fear or doubt strengthens your momentum. And it is in those small, seemingly insignificant moments that the trajectory of your life begins to change. One decision leads to another. One action leads to another. And eventually, what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. The horizon you once only imagined begins to take shape, and you realize that progress is not an accident. It is the result of intention, courage, and persistence. Resilience is the bridge between setbacks and progress. Life will challenge you. Life will test your patience, your willpower, and your faith in yourself. But resilience is not about enduring pain passively. It is about responding to it actively. It is about seeing obstacles as lessons rather than punishments, as invitations to grow rather than barriers to stop you. Resilience allows you to turn what could have been a defeat into a foundation for victory. It allows you to transform mistakes into wisdom, losses into strength, and fear into action. And as you build resilience, as you move ahead, you will discover something remarkable. The world begins to open up to you in ways you never imagined. Opportunities appear where there were walls, connections form where there were once isolation. Growth emerges where there was once stagnation. That is the power of moving forward with courage and purpose. That is the power of looking up and then taking the steps that follow. So I want you to remember this. Your journey is yours to define. No one else can live it for you. No one else can take your steps or face your fears. And no one else can lift their gaze in the moments when it feels easiest to look down. The choice to look up and move ahead is yours alone. But it is a choice that carries immense power. It is a choice that can transform your life, your relationships, and your impact on the world. Do not let fear keep you small. Do not let doubt keep you still. Do not let the weight of yesterday prevent you from rising today. Look up, see the possibilities, lift your eyes beyond the challenges, and then move ahead. Take action, no matter how small. Step forward, no matter how uncertain. Commit to progress, no matter how difficult. Because life rewards those who move, not those who wait. Life rewards those who act, not those who hesitate. And life rewards those who refuse to let fear dictate their journey. Your life is waiting. Your potential is waiting. The impact you can have is waiting. And all it takes is one simple choice to lift your gaze and take that first step. Look up, move ahead, persist, believe, act, inspire. And in doing so, you will discover that progress is not a distant dream. It is the natural result of courage, clarity, and consistent action. And when you look back one day, you will see that every step, every challenge, every moment of doubt was not wasted. It was a part of your journey forward. You will see that the life you imagined was never out of reach. You will see that moving ahead, even in the face of fear, was the key to unlocking not just your potential, but the potential of everyone whose life you touched along the way. So lift your eyes, take the step, move ahead, because your journey, your purpose, and your future are waiting for nothing less than your courage to begin. Look up. I want you to pause for a moment and really imagine what that means. Not just physically raising your eyes, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually lifting yourself above the chaos, the doubt, the fear. Too often we allow ourselves to be consumed by the pressures of life, the bills that need paying, the deadlines that loom, the expectations of others, and the relentless noise in our minds telling us we are not enough. And in that noise, it's easy to forget that life is bigger than any single moment, bigger than any single failure, bigger than any single fear. Looking up is about claiming that bigger life. It's about choosing to see possibility when everyone else sees obstacles, hope when everyone else sees despair, and opportunity when everyone else sees limitation. But looking up is just the beginning, because seeing possibility is meaningless without action. Possibility becomes reality only when we move ahead. And moving ahead is not about waiting for the perfect conditions, because they will never come. The perfect timing rarely exists. The perfect plan rarely exists. What does exist is the ability to take one step forward right now, in this moment, even if it feels uncertain, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if the outcome is unknown. Progress is never born of waiting. It is born of courage. It is born of persistence. It is born of refusing to let fear dictate your choices. You see, moving ahead is not easy. Life will test you. Life will challenge you. Life will confront you with obstacles that feel insurmountable. But it is precisely in those moments of difficulty that your character is revealed. Resilience is not about avoiding pain. It is about transforming pain into growth. It is about refusing to be defeated by failure. Every time you rise after falling, every time you take another step when your legs feel weak, every time you keep going despite the fear, you are becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable of achieving the life you envision. Resilience is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, and it is built one choice at a time. And this is where purpose comes in. Without purpose, movement is directionless. Action without meaning becomes exhausting, and effort without clarity becomes wasted energy. But when you know your why, when you understand the deeper reason behind your actions, everything changes. Purpose fuels persistence. Purpose fuels courage. Purpose fuels hope. When you have a clear reason to keep moving forward, setbacks no longer stop you. Failures no longer define you. Obstacles no longer deter you. Purpose transforms ordinary action into extraordinary progress. But purpose is not only about you, it is also about others. When you look up and move ahead with purpose, you become a beacon for those around you. Courage is contagious. Determination is contagious. Hope is contagious. When others see you choosing progress despite fear, they are reminded of their own potential to rise. When they see you persisting despite setbacks, they are reminded that they too can endure, grow, and succeed. Your choice to move ahead becomes a gift not only to yourself but to everyone whose life you touch. The ripple effect of your actions can inspire change far beyond what you imagine. I know it is tempting to wait. I know it is tempting to stay where you are until the timing feels right, until the obstacles disappear, until the fear subsides. But here's the truth. Waiting will not create progress. Waiting will not change your life. Fear will not vanish simply because you hope it will. The path forward only becomes clear when you begin to walk it. Action clears the fog. Courage illuminates the unknown. Movement generates momentum. And momentum, once it begins, carries you further than you ever imagined possible. Every small step matters. Every choice to act matters. Every moment you refuse to surrender to doubt or despair strengthens your trajectory. It is easy to underestimate the power of incremental progress. One decision to act leads to another. One step forward builds momentum for the next, and before you realize it, what once seemed impossible begins to take shape. What once felt like a distant dream becomes your reality. The key is to keep moving, even when the steps are small, even when progress feels slow, even when the outcome is uncertain. Resilience, purpose, and action are not abstract concepts. They are tools you carry every day. Resilience allows you to transform failure into growth. Purpose allows you to transform effort into meaningful progress. Action allows you to transform vision into reality. Together, they form the foundation of a life that is not dictated by fear, but guided by hope, courage, and intentionality. And when you combine these three, you discover that looking up is not merely an act of seeing, it is an act of becoming. You become the person capable of moving ahead no matter what comes, the person capable of facing challenges without surrendering, the person capable of inspiring others by your example. And so I challenge you today to look beyond what is comfortable, beyond what is known, beyond what seems safe. Lift your gaze, see the possibilities that lie ahead, recognize that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow, every failure is a lesson to learn, every moment of fear is an invitation to rise. And then take action. Move forward, step by step. Make the decisions that align with your purpose. Take the risks that expand your potential. Commit to persistence even when the path is unclear. The world will not always make it easy. Life will not always reward patience or effort in the ways we expect. Challenges will appear, setbacks will occur, and moments of doubt will test you. But your choice in those moments is what matters. Will you look down and retreat, or will you look up and move ahead? Will you allow fear to dictate your actions, or will you allow hope, courage, and purpose to guide you? The choice is yours, and it is in that choice that your future is determined. Every moment you choose to look up, every moment you choose to act, every moment you choose to persist, you are creating your own trajectory. You are shaping your life in ways that cannot be undone. And in doing so, you are inspiring those around you to do the same. Momentum spreads, courage spreads, hope spreads. The simple act of moving forward in the face of uncertainty has the power to create change far beyond yourself. So lift your eyes, take the step, move ahead, persist, believe, act, inspire, transform. And remember this, the life you imagine is not out of reach. The future you desire is not unattainable. Every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to the life you are meant to live. Look up, move ahead, because your journey, your potential, and your impact on the world are waiting for nothing less than your courage to begin. The choice is yours. The action is yours. The life you dream of is yours to claim. Lift your eyes, take that step, move ahead, and in doing so, you will discover that progress is not just a possibility, it is inevitable when you refuse to stop. Look up. I want you to take a moment and really let that sink in. Not just with your eyes, but with your mind and your heart, because too often we allow ourselves to be consumed by what is directly in front of us. The failures, the setbacks, the people who doubt us, the challenges that seem impossible. And when we focus only on the immediate, when we allow ourselves to be trapped by the noise of doubt and fear, we forget something vital. The world is bigger than any obstacle. Life is bigger than any setback. And you are capable of more than you give yourself credit for. Looking up is about realizing that there is a horizon, a future, and a possibility beyond what you can see right now. But looking up is not enough. Seeing potential is only the beginning. Because the moment you lift your gaze, the next step is inevitable. You move. Move ahead. Action is the bridge between hope and reality. The life you dream of, the success you seek, the person you want to become, none of it will arrive without movement. And moving ahead doesn't mean waiting for perfect conditions. It doesn't mean waiting until fear disappears or until the path is clear. It means stepping forward even when uncertainty looms, even when doubt whispers that you aren't ready, even when the world seems determined to tell you no. Momentum begins with a single step, and progress is born from the courage to continue. Life is full of challenges. Life will test you. It will push you to your limits and at times beyond. And that is not an accident. Challenges are not punishments. They are opportunities. Setbacks are not failures. They are lessons. And obstacles are not walls. They are invitations to grow, to adapt, to become stronger. Resilience is not a trait you are born with. It is a muscle you develop. Every time you rise after a fall, every time you keep moving when giving up feels easier, every time you persist despite fear, you are strengthening that muscle. And the stronger you become, the more capable you are of achieving the life you envision. Purpose is the fuel that turns movement into momentum. Without purpose, action can feel meaningless. Without a clear why, persistence can waver and effort can fade. But when you understand why you are moving forward, when you know the difference you want to make, the life you want to live, the impact you want to have, everything changes. Purpose gives your steps direction. Purpose gives your actions meaning. Purpose allows you to endure the inevitable setbacks, to embrace discomfort, and to continue moving when the world seems to conspire against you. When purpose is clear, fear loses its grip and momentum becomes unstoppable. And here is something powerful. Purpose is not just for you. Your choice to look up and move ahead creates a ripple effect. Courage is contagious. Hope is contagious. Determination is contagious. When others see you choosing progress despite fear, they are reminded that they too can rise. When they witness you persisting despite setbacks, they are reminded that they too can endure, adapt, and succeed. Your actions inspire more than just yourself. They inspire those around you, your community, your team, your family, your friends, and even strangers who witness your determination. The impact of moving ahead stretches far beyond your own life. I know it can feel tempting to stay where you are. I know it feels safer to remain in your comfort zone, to wait for perfect timing, to avoid risk and discomfort. But the truth is, waiting will never create progress. Waiting will never build momentum. Waiting will never turn dreams into reality. Life rewards those who act, not those who hesitate. Life favors those who persist, not those who pause. And the world opens its doors to those who lift their gaze and choose to move forward. Even when the way is uncertain, every step forward, no matter how small, matters. Every choice to act matters. Every moment in which you refuse to surrender to fear strengthens your path. It is easy to underestimate the power of small, consistent steps, but they are the foundation of extraordinary achievements. One decision leads to another. One action creates momentum for the next. And over time, what once seemed impossible begins to take shape. What once felt like a distant dream becomes tangible reality. This is the power of persistence. This is the power of choosing. Movement over hesitation. Resilience, purpose, and action are your tools. Resilience allows you to transform obstacles into opportunities. Purpose allows you to turn effort into meaningful progress. Action allows you to transform vision into reality. And when these three come together, They create unstoppable momentum. They transform the simple act of looking up into a life of fulfillment, growth, and impact. You begin to see that challenges are not the end. They are the beginning. You begin to understand that failure is not a stop sign, it is a guidepost. And you realize that movement, even imperfect movement, is the path to your best self. So I challenge you, do not let the weight of doubt, fear, or past failures keep you grounded. Lift your eyes, see beyond the obstacles, see beyond the uncertainty, see the possibility that exists for you and for those you influence. Then take action, move forward, step by step, decision by decision, moment by moment. Do not wait for the perfect moment, it will never come. Start now, even if it is imperfect. Progress, not perfection, is what creates lasting change. Your journey is yours to define. No one else can live it for you. No one else can face your fears, take your steps, or make the choices that will shape your future. The responsibility is yours, the power is yours, and the opportunity is yours. When you choose to look up and move ahead, you claim that power, you embrace that opportunity, and you shape the life you want to live. Remember, every action you take, every step you choose to move forward, is a vote for the life you desire. Every time you persist despite fear, every time you act despite doubt, you create momentum that carries you toward your goals. And that momentum grows. It builds. It accelerates. Until one day you look back and realize that what once seemed impossible has become your reality. The horizon you imagined is now your present. The future you dreamed of is now unfolding before you. Lift your eyes, step forward, persist, believe, act, inspire, transform. And in doing so, you will discover that looking up is not just an act of vision, it is an act of courage. That moving ahead is not just an act of progress, it is an act of purpose. That choosing to rise, even in the face of fear, is the defining choice that shapes your life, your impact, and your legacy. The choice is yours. The action is yours. The life you dream of is yours to claim. Look up, move ahead, and never stop rising. Because the world, your potential, and your future are waiting for nothing less than your courage to begin. Look up. Not just with your eyes, but with your mind, with your heart, with your very being. Because too often we allow ourselves to be consumed by what is directly in front of us. The fears, the doubts, the failures, the people who tell us we are not enough. And in focusing on these things, we forget that life is bigger than any single moment, bigger than any setback, bigger than any fear. Looking up is about seeing beyond the present, seeing past the obstacles, and recognizing that there is a horizon full of opportunity waiting for you. It is about refusing to let the weight of today determine the limits of your tomorrow. But looking up alone is not enough. Seeing possibility is just the first step. Because hope without action is just wishful thinking. The life you dream of, the future you desire, the person you are capable of becoming, none of it will arrive without movement. And moving ahead does not mean waiting for perfect conditions. The perfect moment rarely comes. The perfect plan rarely exists. What matters is the courage to take the first step, even when the path is uncertain, even when fear whispers that you are not ready. Momentum begins with action. Progress is born from persistence. And every step you take, no matter how small, is a victory in itself. Life will challenge you. Life will push you to your limits. It will confront you with obstacles that feel insurmountable, situations that feel impossible, and setbacks that feel permanent. And that is not an accident. Challenges are not punishments. They are opportunities to grow, to learn, to become stronger. Failures are not the end. They are lessons guiding you toward the path you were meant to take. Resilience is not something you are born with. It is something you build. Every time you rise after falling, every time you continue despite fear, every time you take one more step when it would be easier to give up, you are strengthening your resilience. And that resilience becomes the foundation upon which your progress is built. Purpose is the fuel that transforms action into momentum. Without purpose, effort can feel exhausting and movement can feel meaningless. But when you know your why, when you understand the reason behind your actions, everything changes. Purpose gives your steps direction. Purpose gives your efforts meaning. Purpose allows you to endure the setbacks, embrace the discomfort, and persist even when the odds seem impossible. Purpose transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary progress Because when you have a reason to move forward, no obstacle is too great, no fear is too strong, no setback is too permanent, and purpose is not only for yourself, it is for those around you. When you look up and move ahead with purpose, you inspire hers. Courage is contagious. Determination is contagious. Hope is contagious. When people witness you choosing progress despite fear, they are reminded that they too can rise. When they witness you persisting despite setbacks, they are reminded that they too can endure, grow, and succeed. Your actions have the power to influence far beyond yourself. Your momentum becomes a beacon for others, creating a ripple effect that spreads through your family, your community, your workplace, and even strangers who see your determination. It can be tempting to wait, to stay where you are in the comfort of the familiar, in the illusion of safety, to delay action until the timing feels perfect, until fear subsides, until obstacles disappear. But here's the truth: waiting never creates progress. Waiting never builds momentum. Waiting never turns dreams into reality. The difference between those who succeed and those who stagnate is simple. The ones who succeed choose to move ahead anyway. They choose to act even when uncertain. They choose to persist even when the path is unclear. They choose to rise even when the world seems determined to hold them down. And in those choices, they create opportunity, possibility, and growth beyond imagination. Every step forward matters. Every decision to act matters. Every moment in which you refuse to surrender to fear strengthens your path. Small, consistent actions build the foundation for extraordinary achievements. One decision leads to another. One action creates momentum for the next. And over time, what once seemed impossible begins to take shape. What once felt like a distant dream becomes tangible reality. The key is to keep moving, even when the steps are small. Even when progress feels slow, even when the outcome is uncertain. Progress compounds over time. Momentum grows with persistence, and the life you dream of is created not in a day, but through consistent forward movement. Resilience, purpose, and action are your most powerful tools. Resilience allows you to transform obstacles into opportunities. Purpose allows you to turn effort into meaningful progress. Action allows you to transform vision into reality. And when these three come together, they create unstoppable momentum. They transform the simple act of looking up into a life of fulfillment, impact, and influence. Challenges become opportunities, failures become lessons, fear becomes fuel, and the life you once imagined begins to manifest before your eyes. So I challenge you today. Do not let doubt, fear, or past failures keep you grounded. Lift your eyes. See the possibilities that exist beyond the obstacles. Recognize that every challenge is an invitation to grow. Every failure is a lesson to learn, and every moment of fear is a chance to rise. Then take action. Move forward, step by step, decision by decision, moment by moment. Do not wait for the perfect moment. It will never come. Start now, even if it feels imperfect. Progress is made through action, not waiting. Growth comes through persistence, not hesitation. Your journey is yours to define. No one else can live it for you. No one else can face your fears, take your steps, or make the decisions that shape your life. The responsibility is yours. The power is yours. And the opportunity is yours. When you choose to look up and move ahead, you claim that power. You embrace that opportunity. You shape the life you want to live. Remember, every choice you make, every step you take is a vote for the life you desire. Every time you persist despite fear, every time you act despite doubt, every time you rise after a setback, you create momentum that propels you forward. That momentum grows, accelerates, and eventually transforms your vision into reality. One day you will look back and realize that what once seemed impossible has become your reality. The horizon you imagined is now your present. The future you dreamed of is unfolding before you. Lift your eyes, step forward, persist, believe, act, inspire, transform. And remember this: looking up is not just an act of vision, it is an act of courage. Moving ahead is not just an act of progress, it is an act of purpose. Choosing to rise, even in the face of fear, is the defining choice that shapes your life, your impact, and your legacy. The choice is yours, the action is yours, the life you dream of is yours to claim. Look up, move ahead, persist, and never stop rising, because the world, your potential, and your future are waiting for nothing less than your courage to begin. If you want, I can now combine all 5 keynotes into a complete epic master speech, structured as a full-length motivational session for 90 to 120 minutes, with seamless flow, escalating emotional impact, and storytelling cues for maximum engagement. As we reach the end of this journey together, I want you to take one final moment and reflect on what it truly means to look up and move ahead. This is not just a phrase, it is a choice, a mindset, a way of living. Every day presents an opportunity to decide whether we will remain grounded in fear, doubt, and limitation, or whether we will lift our eyes, see the possibilities, and take the steps necessary to create the life we imagine. This is the moment when vision meets action, when courage meets opportunity, when purpose meets persistence. Looking up is more than just seeing beyond the present. It is believing beyond the immediate. It is refusing to let the weight of setbacks, failures, and uncertainty dictate the limits of your potential. When you look up, you choose hope over despair. You choose clarity over confusion. You choose possibility over limitation. And when you pair that choice with action, when you move ahead, even in the face of fear, that is when real transformation begins. One step, one decision, one act of courage at a time, the life you dream of starts to unfold. The path ahead will not always be easy. Life will test you. Challenges will arise. Fear will try to hold you back. Doubt will whisper that you are not enough. But remember this, every challenge is an invitation to grow. Every failure is a lesson in resilience. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and rise stronger. You are not defined by what happens to you. You are defined by how you respond. When you choose to rise, when you choose to move ahead, you become unstoppable. Purpose is your compass. It is the reason you continue when the path is unclear. It is the fuel that drives you forward when obstacles appear insurmountable. When you understand your why, every action gains meaning, every step gains direction, and every effort compounds into extraordinary progress. And as you move forward with purpose, you inspire those around you. Your courage becomes contagious. Your determination becomes a beacon. Your resilience becomes an example that others can follow. By moving ahead, you are not just creating your life, you're creating ripples of impact that extend far beyond yourself. So as you leave this moment, I want you to carry this with you. Look up, move ahead, and never stop rising. Lift your gaze beyond the doubts that try to anchor you. Step forward even when fear says no, and persist even when the road feels L. Momentum is built one decision, one action, and one courageous step at a time. The life you desire is not a distant dream. It is waiting for you to claim it. Every choice you make today, every action you take, every moment you refuse to surrender to fear brings you closer to your potential, your purpose, and your impact. The power is in your hands. The responsibility is yours. The opportunity is now. Look up, see the horizon, step forward, move ahead, persist, inspire, transform. And in doing so, you will discover that progress, purpose, and impact are not reserved for a few. They are the reward of those who dare to rise, to act, and to never stop moving forward. This is your moment. This is your life. Look up, move ahead, and let nothing hold you back.